A deflated Donald Trump just held another press conference outside of his Bedminster resort. Now, this was supposed to be a press conference about his economic agenda, but things didn't really seem to go too well for him. Now, what I really think is happening is that his campaign is desperately trying to get Trump out there to spin a clear and concise message for the American people. But for whatever reason, he does not seem to be able to do that right now. So I just wanted to show you a few clips from this press conference because it was an absolute disaster. We'll go ahead and kick things off with kind of a vibe check. You'll see Trump reading off a piece of paper, kind of sulking. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
Virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. You know that? Most of the job creation has gone to migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially more than beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that, but the government hasn't caught up with that yet. But virtually right now, as of the time they did this, virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. Harris gave work permits and Social Security numbers to more than 3 million illegal immigrants to steal jobs from Americans. So think of that.
So as you can see, the tone and tenor of this whole thing is really quite strange. He's got a table full of groceries to the left of him, to our right. And then he's just kind of reading off a paper. He's trying to, stick to the bullet points. But yeah, it just does not come across as too convincing. I don't know what Trump is doing, but I'm all here for it. Let's go ahead and move on. There seems to have been a crowd assembled by the Trump campaign. That's my best guess. I don't know exactly where this crowd came from, but it was really kind of funny because it seems like they were just assembled there to be like a cheerleading squad for Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick.
And said that if Trump isn't elected, he predicts, and he's predicting you have a stock market crash like 1929. He also said the only time and the only reason the stock market has gone up, even though it had some bad moments recently, but I think we'll take a substantial lead. You saw the polls come out today. We're leading in most of the polls, but you'll have I have a lot of friends over there. So I don't think they're reporters, however, are they? This was supposed to be for reporters. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So like I said, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if the Trump team just assembled a crowd of people to cheer him on along the way, but I just thought it was quite strange. Let's go ahead and move on. I don't know exactly what Trump is talking about. If anybody can let me know, that would be great. But he's just kind of a rambling mess in this one. Let's go ahead and take a look.
And we're dying for energy. We don't have energy, and they're getting set for the AI because they're going to create so much electricity, and we're not going to be able to do it. But you'll do it if I have it, because that's an emergency. We have to be able to compete with China and other countries that are able to create new energy if they want to, and they're going to want to, and they do want to. But they're building at least one coal plant a week. Germany, as you know, went a little bit like us, and that was the end of Angela because their whole economy crashed.
So, as you can see, I think Trump is ostensibly talking about energy, but it's just a incoherent mess. Let's go ahead and watch him talk a little bit more about energy, this time about wind energy. Let's see what he had to say there.
Plants, great sources of energy. Instead of playing this game with wind that is ruining everything, killing all your birds, destroying the fields, all these gorgeous fields. You got windmills all over the place, and you have birds. You want to see a bird cemetery? Just go under a windmill. You see thousands of birds dead. The bald eagle, if you kill an eagle, they put you in jail for years. And yet these windmills knock them out like nothing. And nothing happens to the people. Now, it's a green scam. It's a shame. Look, I'm all for clean energy. I want clean water. I want clean air. But you can't destroy your country over it. You just can't do that. We want to stop wasteful spending and big government special interest giveaways. You have...
So he's talking about wind energy and how all of the windmills are killing all of the birds. Donald Trump has been telling this same story since 2016. It's like one of his go-tos. And then he just returns to reading off the paper like nothing ever happened. It is just so strange what is going on here. It seems like an old man in mental decline. What else should we say about this? It's just a rambling, incoherent mess. He goes on to say that, we're going to be friendly with Iran. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but hopefully we will. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and take a look at that.
And I'm not looking to be bad to Iran. We're going to be friendly, I hope, with Iran. Maybe, but maybe not. But we're going to be friendly, I hope. We're going to be friendly, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And we were all set to make sure that they don't have a nuclear weapon, because once they do, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different negotiation. But Viktor Orban said, if you put Trump in, nothing's going to happen. Everyone's going to be peaceful, because they were afraid of Trump. Now, I don't like saying that I said that. I would say maybe they respected Trump. But he said they were afraid of Trump.
Poor Donald Trump. Man, I start to feel bad for the guy at times, but then I remember just what a terrible person he is. And then he's concocting this huge story in his head about the world would be at peace if only Donald Trump was president. This is part of those delusions of grandeur that we would expect out of a malignant narcissist like Donald Trump. He then goes on to say that, he's entitled to the personal attacks on Kamala Harris because he doesn't respect her. Let's go ahead and see what he said there.
She doesn't have that. People don't know who she is. As far as the personal attacks, her because of what she's done to the country. I'm very angry at her that she'd weaponized the justice system against me and other people. Very angry at her. I think I'm entitled to personal attacks. I don't have a lot of respect for her. I don't have a lot of respect for her intelligence, and I think she'll be a terrible president.
Wow. It's quite a lot, isn't it? So apparently he's mad at Kamala Harris. And apparently it's her fault now that she's weaponizing the Justice Department. It's like the greatest hits, but they're all jumbled together and they're assigned new persons of blame. It's just very, very strange. These are the rantings and ravings of a madman or a lunatic. I really encourage you to go watch this whole press conference because the whole thing is very much like this. You can ostensibly see kind of what he's talking about at different points, but it's all kind of like word association games, and he just jumps from one topic to the other. It's something we see at like every Trump rally, but it seemed to be more pronounced at this particular press conference. He then goes on to say that nobody knows Kamala Harris's last name. This is something he said at his latest rally in Montana, but this time he's talking about the man on the street doesn't know. I just don't get it. Let's go ahead and take a look.
You can ask the man on the street. I saw it on one of the shows today. They asked the man on the street, what's the last name of Kamala? Nobody knew. It's Harris. Nobody knew the last name. I don't even use it because nobody knows who I'm talking about. People don't know who she is. She's a radical left socialist. But beyond that, she's way beyond socialism. Who's going to destroy our country? And when they find out, I think you're going to see something. But right now, even not knowing her, and with all of the cover of Time magazine, they didn't put a picture. They got a great artist to do it. What was that all about? What was that all about? The whole thing is crazy. I just want to win for the country. Some people say, oh, why don't you be nice? But they're not nice to me. They want to put me in prison, just so you understand. They tell me I should be nice. They want to put me in prison. It's never happened before in the history of our country. I did nothing wrong.
So do you see what I mean? He's kind of just like jumping from topic to topic. He went from the man on the street doesn't know who Kamala Harris is to I did nothing wrong. They're trying to put they don't respect me. They want to put me in jail. He's like an aggrieved old man who has a whole bunch of thoughts in his head, but he can't string them together coherently. It's just quite wild. It was quite a wild thing to watch. I mean, this is a person who wants to be the next president of the United States, and he does not seem mentally fit to me at this point. There seems to be some definite cognitive decline, and I intend to make another video about this in detail next week, but this is bad. This is not good for Donald Trump. His campaign wanted him to get out there and give a good message to the American people, but this is what we got. And he even, this is the last video I'll show you, he even went back to Hillary's emails. But listen closely. He's talking about how Hillary burned her emails. I mean, it just does not make any sense. Let's go ahead and listen.
Years before, and I've said this a few times, not too much, but with Hillary, she was subpoenaed by Congress to give everything she's got, and she burned it. She acid washed it. Bleach bit, they call it. She totally scrubbed it, and then they broke everything with hammers, with fire. They burned it, and then she said, I don't have anything. Well, it turned out that she had a lot to give, and everybody said, lock her up, and I used to go easy, just easy, easy. Then we won, and I said, wouldn't it be terrible? And you know, I lose. Some people are upset when I did this, but you have to look at it maybe differently now. I say, wouldn't it be terrible to put the wife of the president, former president of the United States, into a prison? Now think of that. Hillary Clinton, she was Secretary of State. She was the wife of a president of the United States who used to be a friend of mine before I ran for politics. He was a friend of mine. Used to play my golf course all the time. I have a great golf course right next to their home.
Yeah. Pretty strange, right? Pretty weird. He goes from talking about burning Hillary's emails to his authoritarian ambitions and trying to lock up political opponents. Doesn't it sound like that's what he was talking about? And then he was trying to lie about his crowd saying, lock her up, and he would have to, push back on that. That is not what happened. Donald Trump was right there every step of the way saying, lock her up. Anyway, that was that. That was Trump's latest press conference outside of Bedminster, and it was the rantings and ravings of a lunatic. This is a person who wants to be the president of the United States. But it seems to me like the cognitive decline is on a downward trajectory, and we're getting to witness it firsthand as the Trump campaign tries to get him to be disciplined on message to try to win this thing in November. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Donald Trump is experiencing cognitive decline and whether or not somebody like this should be the next president.